This is a walkthrough of the magnetic fields lab. So this is your basic setup. So first part we have a straight wire. So you can see here I've created a straight wire and taped it down. And then that wire needs to be connected to our power source. So I'm connecting it to the breadboard. And then I'm connecting my 2 AA battery pack to the breadboard. Okay, so kind of the purpose of this is, since we're studying what a straight wire will create for a magnetic field, is we want to make sure we keep the rest of the wire out of the way so it doesn't interfere with the readings we get. Now on the IOLAB device, up here in the corner you see the little M. That's right where the magnetic field sensor is. It's called the magnetometer on your sensor in the software. Okay, so I'm going to place it like this so the magnetometer is really close to the wire, and that's how we're going to start off. Okay, but you'll notice before you can plug in your wire into the breadboard, it needs to be stripped off first. Okay, so this kind of wire is called magnet wire, and it's different from the jumper wires you used in the last lab. So the jumper wires, they have this plastic on them, and they already have the plastic cut off on the ends. That way you can plug it in to the breadboard. Okay, but the magnet wire, it doesn't have a plastic coating. It has more of an enamel painted onto it, and so you actually have to sand it off. So basically what you do is I gave you a piece of sandpaper, and you're just going to want to kind of pinch it, the end in there, and you're going to squeeze and pull, and you have to do this several times until finally you get it all off the end there, and it's all nice and copper. Okay, so that the wire itself is copper, right? And I have a picture of this so you can see better in the document. But the wire I gave you has got a red enamel painted onto it. But the wire under it is copper. So once it's copper looking, then you can go ahead and plug it in. And you'll know whether it's working or not if you turn on the magnetometer sensor, and whether it does something or not when you move it closer or further away from the wire. If there's no change, then you probably didn't get enough of the enamel off. Okay, so this is where you're going to start, as close to the wire as possible. You'll notice in between the wheels that there's an axis printed on. Okay, so in this lab you're going to be moving the device in different positions from the wire, and you're going to measure that out in 1 centimeter increments up to 10 centimeters away from the wire. So for the most part you'd be using the Z direction, because you're going to just be going back and forth like this and collecting measurements. Okay, so when you go on to your software, you only have to click off or have the BZ checked off. So B is standing for your magnetic field strength, and Z is for the Z direction, which is where you're going to be collecting your data. Now in this part, you're going to create a coil and measure the magnetic field created by the coil. So you're going to get a setup that looks something like this. So you're going to take the wire that's in the bag labeled 3M. That means it's just a piece of wire that is 3 meters long, and you're going to create a coil from it. So you can wrap it around anything you want. Maybe you have a tape roll or something, you can wrap it around that. You can wrap it around your fingers, which is what I did. Just be careful that you don't wrap it too tight and cut off circulation. You're also going to have to make sure you strip off the ends with the sandpaper like you did with a straight wire. Okay, so once you do that and you got your coil, you're going to place it over the magnetometer sensor. So remember, that's where the M is labeled. And you're going to try to center the coil, put the center of the coil right over the M there. Okay, and then I'm using a piece of tape just to kind of hold it down, so that's not going to interfere in anything. Then you're ready to plug in to your breadboard and turn your battery pack on and begin collecting your data. All right, so you're just going to, what you need to do for this part is to collect the magnetic field strength of this coil. Okay, and then finally, with the provided coil that looks like this, you're going to design and carry out a procedure to determine how many turns are in this coil.